Hi my lovelies, it's Ghoul, and today we are going to make a Halloween Spooky Sims build. This is taken from our stream that we've done recently, so the camera is covered so you don't see me at crazy warp speed, but there will be some comments and little tick marks in the top corner as you can see. The building on the right is one of my previous builds, so please ignore that one. Today we are focusing on our spooky haunted castle. I wanted to include things from the new packs that I had brought, which were the Realm of Magic, the Vampire, and the spooky stuff, because it's spooky season. So I built the basics, which I kind of like. It looks like a really weird dollhouse princess house, and I think it's really cool. We included the fence that I absolutely love, but we needed to have an open area for the gate, so we kind of just made like a little alcove, which I think is cool. I wish I could have brought it a little closer, but you know, I'm glad that we got it where I got it. I do make several little nods to the house on the right because it was one of my first builds, and I'd like to think you can tell the difference. But you never know. So I included this black, ornate, gorgeous gothic frieze, but I wasn't sure if it was too big for the actual house, so we kind of deviated a little bit what we wanted, but I did come back to it in the end. As you can see, I thought that we could kind of go with a castle build, and it was like a house that had been decorated for Halloween, so it was a bit of both. It was both spooky in itself and it was decorated. I absolutely adore the wallpapers from these sets, but we did have to go with something a bit more plain out on the outside, which, looking back at it, I really do think it suits the house. It definitely fits the vibe that we were going for. I always have got to have the foundation to match. I'm glad we went with the cobblestone instead of grass because I feel that really ties in everything all together. I think that we had to take off the packs to put the stairs in, but apart from that I don't think we really went away from the new stuff. I love these windows. I think they're really cool, and it makes it look like a doll's house. I always put too many windows in, but I'd always prefer to put too many in and then just take them out afterwards rather than have the hassle of just like finding the right space for them. It was about here when I realised that I had put a lot of darker stuff at the front of the house and I needed it to blend in with the silver, so I put some blue wood down. Looking at the house again. And then well, honestly, I was just so stunned with what was in these packs to begin with that like I was super happy with it. I did like the fact that we included like a little bit of grey here and there, and it will be like redone closer to the time, but for now this was just a basic house. I wanted to include some spooky bits in the garden, so we put in like some dead trees, some dead roses plants, and some dead ash trees, which I thought kind of looked cool because they were green and they still had an element of colour. I put in some rose bushes and some spooky flowers. So going back to these the packs that I built, we kind of carved out what rooms were going to go in where. I did change my mind a few times, but if you know me, you know that that's what I do anyway. I wanted to put the stairs in, and I always forget to wallpaper the stairs, so I'm super glad I remembered in this instance. I really wish I would have remembered at this time to pull the turrets in a little bit, and the towers in a little bit, so we could kind of like avoid this whole situation. I did end up taking the welcoming porch out downstairs and eventually upstairs, but for now I thought it was just fine the way it was. We put a bathroom upstairs and a bedroom, and this little room on the right is going to be the party room, so I had to include some really cool wallpaper. I think this is more of a serious build. The next one is going to go all out spooky, so I didn't want it to overbear the room, so I did do a half and half wall. This wallpaper took forever to decide, and luckily my amazing followers helped me decide. We went through every wallpaper, I think, as you can see. So but I think we did find I think we did find one that was probably the best. I wasn't too sure if I wanted to go with like all dark wallpaper and all light floor, or I wanted to mix it up a little bit, so I did do both in the end. This is one of my favourite wallpapers, so I'm glad I put it in the bathroom. I do chop and change my rooms a little bit, so it's funny to come back and look at it and go, why did I put that there? So this is going to be a reading room. or just like a little bookworm area. But we did eventually decide to remove it in the end. That's where I remember the stairs, because there was just like, we wanted it to be a bit more open plan. I really loved the fact that there's so many details in the floor. I definitely think if I was to rebuild a house, I would include more of the tapered and tiled floors, because I just thought they looked super special. And that, honestly, some of the descriptions for these floors were super cool. I really liked it. And I knew once I put that floor in, I'd have to change the wallpaper. So we did go with like a basic blue wood, but I think it will work. I noticed that we had these, and I really wanted the ghosts to look like they were coming out of the gravestone, so we just kind of put them in areas to kind of break up the space a little bit. One of my followers had seen we had the pumpkin lights, so of course they had to be included, as well as these hand candles, which I think are insane. I didn't realise that these would be little jack-o'-lanterns, so I kind of got super excited over them and trying to find trying to place them. It wasn't as hard as it looks, but trust me, it was a little bit annoying. I wanted to include them everywhere but not have them all over the house, so I did put in a few little ghosties, and regrettably, because that roof, the part of the wall doesn't really go, we did have to put it on the roof, which I think it looks okay. It looks vastly different to the house on the right. I did put in some chandeliers, which they are gorgeous, but they do give off quite a yellow light, and I wasn't really too interested in that, because I like to, I don't know, I like to like have it really clear that what we can see, and I didn't think it was bringing up the wallpaper enough, so this is where I did variate and put in the normal spotlights, so you'll see that in a second. I wanted to include as much of the pack as I could, but I also know that there's nothing wrong with using what you already know. I think I guess I just wasn't keen on the fact that it did turn the floor so yellow. I think if I was building somewhere where I wanted it cozy, like a cozy room, then I probably would stick with the chandeliers. So upstairs I kind of had the same kind of ideal. That was a massive chandelier. And again, it went from a really nice white tile to something that I wasn't really happy with, so we did go ahead and change it. As you can see, I changed my mind about 100 times, but today actually it wasn't so bad. So I went through the lights and kind of found the spotlights that I like. They are this really, really small ones, and they do give off a lot of light. It probably doesn't look as spooky on the inside because of this, but I thought it was, it's a sacrifice I was willing to make. I really wanted it to bring out the floor tiles and the wallpaper, which is kind of what it's about. And the sconces are just so cute. I love candles myself in real life, and I just figured that I'd have to chuck loads of them in this build. And as you can see, I did open up that wall, and I did like a cozy half wall with the black wallpaper to kind of brighten it up a little bit, and to kind of make it a statement wall instead. This is where I was still undecided about the wallpaper, so I thought I'd take a little minute to decide what I actually wanted and then carry on. This is the kitchen. We wasn't quite sure if a vampire would even need a kitchen, what they would want a kitchen for. I think we ended up having a bit of a giggle over it because, we really took it too far. I did love the fact that there are Greek mythology items in here. I don't know, the kitchen, it wasn't normally my vibe. I wasn't too keen on it, and I think I would come back and sort it out to a different point. But saying that, I do love those little bar stools. That table piece is so cute. And then I found out we had pumpkins that were light shows, and I was well away. I was so ready to decorate, so ready to get spooky. So that's what we did. We put in the apothecary drawers, the spell drawers. I really just wanted it to be an open plan but still have everything in it. I created a few little cozy nooks where we could read or study or practice your potions or whatever it is you decided to do. That room ended up being the most fun room house out of there to begin with, so I wanted to keep the you know, the jazzy purple curtains. And I do have a thing of keeping the curtains the same throughout the house, just so it gives it a sense of unity throughout the windows and the walls. Especially as like we already had like a colour palette of black, white and blue. This is me adjusting to the fact that I've just built a lot that I wasn't too keen on. And knowing that there was a spooky toilet was easily the best part of the stream. It was super funny, and it really made me laugh because I wasn't expecting it, and it was the best thing. So so we decided to put mirrors in. So again, the question was, do vampires really have mirrors? The answer is, well, if they didn't, it would be for their guests. So we kind of put one in. We did rearrange the bathroom a few times, but overall I was happy with the end result. I didn't realise there were so many new rugs, and I do like the fact that you can customise them to the however long you wanted. I love these rugs. That lunar cycle is my favourite. If I could have it in real life, I absolutely would. And then I just kind of like messed around with the bathroom a little bit. I definitely think I'm gonna revisit it. I wanted some spooky decorations for outside, but I kind of wanted to keep it more decorated than kind of pulled apart. I didn't really want to include holes or cracks or anything like that, but I will be doing a house where that is prevalent, so definitely look out for that. I did like the cobwebs in the end, and I think having these on the windows definitely added something to it. It broke up some of the colour and and then I got to decorate, so I absolutely love decorating on The Sims. I definitely think there's been so many more options, and then I found the pumpkins. These little guys went everywhere. I was so stoked to have them. I thought they were really cool. They had a load of different faces. I'm just generally finding these out. I love decorating the outside and the inside, so for me this was really cool. It just added another layer of like spooky goodness to the build. These were such amazing statues. I think this is probably my favourite statue in the game. We did want to include a few extra bits, so we did some spice in the kitchen area from the garden, and we had to include the organ because what spooky house does not have a spooky organ, and fireplace and weird bookshelf. So we went with a very basic reading corner here. We added in bits of green. I absolutely love the fact that you can have a coffin and it's called Pallbearers. Bad news. I wanted to include a little bit of seating outside. I wasn't too keen on the fact that it was such a light colour, so we went with that instead, which I think worked a lot better. I absolutely love the fact that they've really gone all out with this kind of thing, and I love the fact that we have a table that matches. I did go for this. I do think I'll come and revisit this bottom room because it feels kind of bare for me. I need to include some more pieces, and I like the fact there was a pumpkin carving set. I think absolutely, why not? There's that fancy organ. And definitely we had a lot of fun in our stream chatting about if a vampire would need a cauldron, should they use a coffin as a coffee table. It was just a lot of fun, so I'm super glad that we got to do this build. I did basically just try and fill the space because I realised that there was a lot of space that we actually didn't plan for, so we put in a few clocks, a few bookcases, I think like a few chest of drawers as well, and some spooky lighting. So we knew that that's what we wanted to do, and then I found this glorious rug, but I didn't really feel it fit anywhere, so I think that might be a build for our witch house. I feel like this has been quite an extensive build, and I didn't really plan for how much stuff I would actually need, and I am only using 3 very basic packs. Although there is a lot in there, we did build a very big house. So we definitely did well with what we had, and I was really chuffed with it. So I mean, that was that. I thought it was an incredible build, and if you like some of our stuff, thank you so much for watching. Check out our other videos, and if you like it, as I say, please like and subscribe to our content, where there will be more Halloween houses, infamous builds. I think the Simpsons house is next, and I will see you all soon.